Welcome to the Red Dirt Film Podcast with Marisa
and Damon. Each week we let you in on what's happening in the film world
and review a film, including interviews, contests, and more.
And it's my turn to go first here on Red Dirt Film Podcast. This is Damon.
And this is Marisa.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Another week.
Another podcast. Dun dun.
It's epic. We need some orchestral music in the background at all times.
At all times?
That would be pretty intense.
Annoying?
It'd be epic.
No, I think it would be annoying.
What do we have to talk about this week, Marisa?
All right. Movie news. We're talking about Poetry Without End.
Or Endless Poetry, however you wish to translate the film.
Or Endless Poetry. I've never heard of this. What is that, Damon?
This has me completely just over the moon because it is the newest film from perhaps my favorite living director, Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Aha.
He made a small run of films through the 60s, up through the mid-70s. Then there was one or two films, the beginning of the 80s, the end of the 80s, and then nothing for almost 2 decades.
What was he doing? Do you know?
He was being a father and being the world's foremost authority on world religions and the tarot, and in writing books and doing comic books.
So he was busy. He
was very busy.
From
yes,
film.
yes,
okay.
And he was doing workshops.
So what's Endless Poetry?
So
it's a film by him?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, he came out with his first film in 2 decades, which was very autobiographical, and that film, Dance of Illusions, was hailed as a real welcome return of the master. And so this film is actually yet another autobiographical examination of his youth. This is the second of 5 films he plans to cover about his own self.
Oh, really?
But if you know anything about his films, they're highly symbolic, very surreal at times. And so it's very interesting to see a biography that will randomly have, little bits of surreal imagery kind of interwoven into not only the narrative, but into the backgrounds and just seemingly random characters that will appear on screen and interact with the main protagonists.
So when is this due to come out?
October the 5th in limited cinemas.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he's my favorite living filmmaker, so I'm
Good deal.
Really looking forward to it.
Sounds good. What's Bill Murray up to these days?
Well, Marisa, had you heard about this past weekend, what he was up to?
No.
This cracked me up to no end.
So funny, and I just like the way he lives life.
For those of you who do not know, he lives in New York City, and he just aimlessly wanders about just to be part of humanity.
Yeah, there's hilarious pictures of him doing things.
He likes to photobomb people. He crashes people's weddings and frat parties, and
everyone loves him. So
so his big, I don't want to call it a stunt.
How old is he now?
I don't remember. He's in his 60s, but he this past weekend he decided he wanted to be a bartender.
Awesome.
So he for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night, he poured shots and mixed drinks for everyone who came out to this bar.
Where was he?
The bar, I would have to look up the name again.
He is 66 years old.
66.
Oh, guess what? His birthday is today.
Oh!
No way!
Happy
September
birthday!
21st.
Yay.
Well, that's fortuitous.
It really is.
Happy birthday, Bill Murray.
Yes, Bill Murray. Happy birthday. And we hope that you will do a shout out for us. This is a plan Marisa and I have had for a few years.
We want him to come to Red Dirt Film Festival in March.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. If someone could make that happen. The restaurant that he bartended at is called 21 Greenpoint. Now, this...
is that in New York?
Yes. And his... the co-owner of that restaurant is Homer Murray, his son. his firstborn son.
Oh, okay.
So there was the connection there on how that happened.
So that's how he got to do it.
But
I bet people loved that when they came in and saw him.
Yeah, if you go online, you can see all sort of screenshots from people's Twitter pages where they say, Bill Murray was my bartender this weekend. And there are endless pictures of him pouring every type of shot imaginable. You can watch YouTube videos. It's pretty cool. Okay. Now, I know you have not seen this film. You probably should. I think you would find it very hilarious, as you are wont to say. But Zombieland, starring the great Woody Harrelson, best Bill Murray cameo ever.
Oh.
We're going to have to watch that, and we'll have to get you to weigh in. It's hilarious. Okay.
All right.
So, next topic.
Warhol.
I love Andy Warhol.
Is that all you want to say? All right, moving on.
Yeah, let's go on. Oh.
Damon loves Andy Warhol, everyone.
But not that way. I'm an appreciator of his art and his ethic. However, there has never been a Warhol feature film. There have been many appearances of him, like Crispin Glover played him in the Doors movie, if you remember. He was portrayed by David Bowie in Basquiat, another biography of a great artist. But
no one's ever made a film about him.
Now, there was a film called Factory Girl starring Sienna Miller a few years ago. That was it was a pretty high-profile independent film, and he kind of wove. It was more about the actresses in his factory, and so he kind of wove in and out of the story. He was played by Guy Pearce in that film.
Oh, wow!
I love Guy Pearce. It was a good movie, but it still was not a quintessential biopic about the artist. So in this film, he's going to be played by none other than Jared Leto, another one of my favorite actors. Now, I know right now everyone's kind of down on Jared Leto for his portrayal of the Joker, but he has had
he would make a good Andy Warhol, though.
Very intense eyes. He's a fantastic actor. I won't say he was miscast as the Joker. I have not even seen Suicide Squad, but from what I understand and reading it, it's totally not his fault. It was the script.
Yeah.
And the lack of his character actually weaving throughout the movie. However, but that's the scoop on that. So this should be a fairly big film. It'll probably be Oscar bait, I would imagine.
Yeah.
If it's handled in the right way. But
sounds good.
Okay.
All right, and the film that we are reviewing this week is called The Fundamentals of Caring. We saw this a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
On, I think, Netflix.
Yes, on Netflix. I believe it was a Netflix original.
Oh my goodness, they have such good films.
I read the synopsis when we were trying to decide. We were looking for something to watch, and I had a list of about 15 different films. And we sat and watched trailers to all of those, almost all of those, trying to pick something. But we finally decided to go with this film, which
it stars Paul Rudd, who I love. I love Paul Rudd. He's good in everything. And Selena Gomez is in it as Dot. Paul Rudd is playing Ben, and then the character of Trevor is Craig Roberts, and then of course his mother Elsa is also in it. But those are kind of the three main characters.
Yeah, and it's a road movie, so road movies are usually good from the get-go just by their very construct. I mean, who doesn't love to hit the road with friends or family and see how things play out. It's people, it's personalities confined within a tiny box, moving down endless highways.
It doesn't start on the road, though.
No.
The thing that this movie really opens your eyes to is understanding people that are disabled. This is about a disabled teen. And he is very smart, but what does he have? Is it cerebral palsy?
Cerebral palsy, yes,
And he's kind of just a grump, right? I mean, he's kind of down on life. He doesn't like any of his caregivers. His mother is a single mom, and she's struggling to take care of him. And, she's good at taking care of him, but she can't be with him all day. She has to go earn a living. So she needs someone to be there with him, and he's just kind of a prankster, and he's a little difficult to get along with. And so Paul Rudd's character, Ben, has gone through a class to be a caregiver because he needs money. He's going through a divorce. His life is really stressful. And he thinks, well, I need to earn some money. I'll take this quick class and go be a caregiver. And they end up being a great match. Even in the interview, it's awkward because Trevor, he is so difficult and he doesn't want anyone to take care of him, and he's angry. But Ben, Paul Rudd's character, he kind of gives it back to him. So they're kind of on an even playing field, don't you think?
Yeah, the chemistry between the two of them and the banter is wonderful. And the actor who plays Ben, of course, Trevor, I should say. Trevor,
yeah,
he really handles it very well. And I'm kind of panicked here looking through the synopses because I really don't believe it was cerebral palsy. It may have been MS. But the point is that it gives you a good idea that the character is handicapped, that what it must be like to be confined to a wheelchair, to have someone tend to you as if you were a small child the rest of your life.
And there are those awkward moments too, but they kind of make them funny to us, but at the same time you feel the weight of what they're both going through in taking care and in being taken care of, and the allowing that comes from both sides of that. But when they decide to hit the road, which his mom is so against because he has just been confined in-home, he has a very strict schedule, and he has very specific medications he has to take at very specific times. And there's not a lot of sort of time for spontaneity in his life. But when they decide to go on the road and, he promises he's going to take good care of her son, they go, and that's when they meet up with Selena Gomez's character, Dot. And she's just fun and crazy, and she's going through her own sort of personal struggles. And so it's kind of these three people struggling with totally different things in their lives that come together and kind of help heal each other. And would you say that's accurate?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So there were a lot of really funny moments in the film, but then there were also a lot of very heartfelt moments. So it does a very good job of balancing humor and drama.
Yes.
Sometimes I felt like some of the comedy was a little bit forced. There were some jokes that were repeated a little bit too often. But, for a film that was completely not on my radar at all, it was a very enjoyable experience. I don't know how soon I will watch it again. I mean, it says a lot that I know I will watch it again someday, but it's not something I'm going to rush to for comedic value.
Right.
There are some odd moments that are very true to life, and in the same way that, say, Napoleon Dynamite had some moments that, even though you've never seen them in a film before, they really hit home because you could feel the authenticity behind them. They were just weird enough to feel like real life.
Right.
And I think this movie does a little bit of that.
We've got a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert gave it a 2 out of 4. And
Not the Roger Ebert.
The Roger Ebert. No.
His umbrella organization
Yes.
that is now Roger Ebert.
Well, you don't know. Maybe up in heaven he's like, I give that a 2 out of 4.
It could be like
Maybe
when...
it was channeling.
Yeah, when Arthur Conan Doyle was channeled by a medium, and there were further adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
There you go.
Yeah, it could be like that.
IMDb gives it a 7.4 out of 10. We usually rate out of 5 here at Red Dirt. What would you give it out of 5, Damon?
Out of 5,
I would say 3.8.
I would say 3.5. Well, if you're going to get into fractions,
I usually don't, but I am now.
because I was really kind of on the
I
fence.
liked it better than a 3.5, but I didn't like it a 4.
My gut was to say 4, and I thought, no, it's not that. But then I feel like I'm cheating it if I say 3.5, so I kind of agree with you. I'd say maybe 3.7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't want to be quite where I am, but you close to.
Well, it might seem a little bit disingenuous for me to also
I
say 3.8.
think it's worth the watch. I
Yeah.
would say that. I think, when you're snuggled up this winter and you're like, what's a good show? This might be a good film for you to check out. The Fundamentals of Caring.
Which is based on a novel.
Again.
I will say the music. I really enjoyed a lot of the music in the film. Anytime I'm watching a movie and I've got Shazam out and open, and every couple of scenes I'm hitting the button to find out who the artist is, that's always a great sign.
It was directed by Rob Burnett. Just to throw that out for him. Anyway, I liked it. Check it out. Damon and I will be going on a road trip tomorrow, so we thought it would be fun to talk about a road trip movie.
Indeed.
And hopefully we have as much fun as they did.
Yes, one of our bonus podcasts we put out last week was about the founder of the Austin Revolution Film Festival. So that's where we were headed. James Christopher, he heads that up, and we're going to go check it out for the first time, and it should be a great time.
Going down to Austin, and we will be interviewing some filmmakers about their films there, talking to people, just having a good time. So let's meet back here in a week. And
now hold on. Hold your horses, little lady. We've got to get a bonus podcast out. We're going to have all sorts of content based on our experiences at that fest.
That's true.
So
we are rather delightful and entertaining. We'll probably have lots of crazy things happen, so maybe we should just do a kind of a running commentary, and Damon can edit it down to something that is, what's the word I want? Acceptable for public
comprehensive.
You never know what we're going to get into.
Oh dear. Am I going to have my work cut out for me like during the Nick Sanford interview?
No.
That thing was pretty chopped up. Which, by the way, if you want to hear some of that saucy footage, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast.
And go like the Harvesters page on Facebook. Their trailer just came out. It will be premiering in LA soon.
The trailer came out.
It did.
I'll be happy to check it out myself. Thank you, Marisa. This is why I listen to this podcast.
Really? So you can learn all the things that I have in my head.
If they were going to learn that, they'd have to pay the $4.99 per month. Totally worth it, though. Take a look at the whole package of the things that we throw out there for you. Not only
good stuff to our paid clients. Do we call them clients? Paid filmies.
Buds. Homies.
Buds? Let's call them film buds.
Yeah. There we go.
I like that.
It'll be part of our filmanthropy.
Wow. That's a stretch a little bit. All right, so...
And we should
us on Facebook, Red Dirt International. We're just Red Dirt Film on there now, aren't we? Red Dirt Film. And our website is reddirtfilm.com.
Look for us to debut on iTunes very soon, and subscribe to us there so you will not miss a beat.
Sounds good.
Emma Watson. And goodbye. We'll be talking to you again tomorrow.
Hey, bye.
Goodbye.